Welcome friends, welcome back to another IRT in real time. And this is Steve, your host for Scale Model Kit Review Studio. Thank you all again who are joining me here. I'll be on this video for you today live. It is Saturday, January 31st. And if you're tuning in for the first time, hit that like button. It really helps get the algorithm out there, helps my channel get out there, gets it noticed. The more likes, the better. So let me see if I can bring up the chat. There is a live chat you can participate on. I'm live. Yeah. All right, be careful. All right, the wife is going to do her runabouts today. Go visit my daughter. And I can see the chat here. David Keeling, welcome. It's been a while since I've done a live from the bench. Not long after the new year, I came down with the flu. My wife had it first. Went about 6 days. I thought I was going to get away with not catching it, but of course I caught it. And it took a while to get over it. I mean, I was fine, but get all the congestion out of your head and all that. It's hard to film. But that's why you haven't seen me much. I did premiere a video this morning of the Batmobile. I'll have one more pack to do with that. A little behind on that. And the main reason was because of the tariffs that were imposed and got the parts late. And I wasn't able to keep up with everybody in Europe because of that fact. But one more video and I'll be done with it. I'll be glad to get it finished. It's a beautiful car, the Batmobile. So yeah, so I do have all the stages for the Enterprise. Good question, David. Just a matter of doing them. I don't have the very last stage, which I think is the decals. So they're back order on the decals for it. Although I may not use the decals because I did receive aftermarket decals from Steve Dimzo. He offers a really nice set of water slide decals. Very accurate colors and everything, the size. So I do have a set of those Dimzo decals, but I was kind of waiting for the ones that come with the kit before I complete that out. But yeah, I have a few more packs to do for the Enterprise. Let me see how many I got here. Yeah, I have 3 more packs to do. So, and you guys probably saw I forgot to install a part on stage 87, which is the deflector dish. And one of my viewers pointed out to me that I forgot to install that part. I looked in my box where I put all the parts in for safekeeping, and there it was, hidden underneath some other spare parts that I had. I have some backup parts for the nacelles and such. I bought extra packs of the nacelles just so I have spare parts for those, and it was hiding underneath those. So there you go. I'm glad somebody pointed that out to me, and I was able to make the correction. So I put a video out on that. Yeah, so they pretty much, if they've just reissued, they just come out with that kit again, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be delays in shipping and all that. There normally is. I mean, everything is manufactured in China, and it seems like the old term is a slow boat from China. And lots of factors involved there too, because let's face it, there's a lot of uncertainties in the Middle East going on with shipping, and you know, so I'm not making excuses for them, but I'm pretty sure it takes a while to get this stuff manufactured. But yeah, if you go to if you're up to stage 87 in the Enterprise D build, um, I put a I made sure in the title of that video, I think it's Pack 23, that look at the description because I put a link to what I did to fix what I messed up. So, we all make mistakes, and it seems like I might have been in a hurry or something. But I'm never really in a hurry when I build that because there's a lot involved there. You really can't be in a hurry building the Enterprise D. Yeah, so I'm sorry your parts are delayed there, David. I also need to finish the Millennium Falcon. I have two more packs to do with that, and I'm trying to decide how many parts I want to do because there's a lot to do just in those two last packs for the Millennium Falcon, and then I want to paint. So, and I'm still working on my studio. My new studio, I got figuring out all the lighting for it, all the power supply, power sources, setting up my soldering station. I have a roll around toolbox I'm going to put in there too, so I can put all my airbrushes in that. Setting up my airbrush, all my airbrushes that I used, my more frequent airbrushes, have those near the spray booth. But I also want to have the ability to also airbrush on my regular workbench because I'm not using caustic paints or anything. They're all acrylics, so it's not an issue there. And then transferring all the paints over there too. I got most of the paints organized. I have a lot of paints, and there's a lot more paints I still want to get. So if you're just joining me, hit the like button. Join us in the chat if you like. Ask me any questions you may have. So this video, I'm going to go ahead and build live, and I'm also going to be filming it because I'm going to come out with a separate video for this build. The Agora models LaFerrari. Now this is pack number 3, and in pack number 3 we received 8 more stages for the LaFerrari. So we have stages 17 through 24. So there you go. That's what I'll be building here, and it's there's not much here. When you think about it, a lot of parts here, some interior stuff. Wheels and tires, we'll be putting together a couple of wheels and tires, seat belts, and such. So I'm just kind of holding off here a little bit. Hope everybody had a great new year. I did go to the Wild West Shootout, which is a super late model event. It's kind of the beginning of the racing season, I would say. All these super late models that raced here in Arizona, out in Casa Grande at the Pinal County Fairgrounds. All those guys, as soon as the races were over, we had 6 nights of racing. They went to Florida, so they've been racing in Florida this past week at Volusia Speedway, and that's the beginning of the season. So we have speed weeks going on in Florida, Daytona, all that going on. It's racing season, right? We already had the Rolex 24. We have, I believe, this weekend is the off-road race out in California, and the name of it is skipping my mind here. I'll think of it in a little bit. It's where I do want to go out there and watch those off-road buggies and motorcycles and all that, and in the desert landscapes, climbing rocks. So, which they just had the Parker 400, which is another off-road race in Parker, Arizona. But yeah, it's racing season. I'm ready to go. Most of my racing I can watch on Flow TV or Flow Sports. It's an application you can download, but you have to subscribe to it. It's just an annual subscription, and you get a lot of racing on that application. So I could probably pretty much watch racing every night of the week with that. I am going to be going to the high limit race, which is winged 410 sprint cars, and they're going to be racing out at Southern Arizona Raceway out in Casa Grande. So that's a nice little racetrack out there. So I do have a ticket for that. It's a single night event. I'll just say hello. Here I am. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to go ahead and film my intro for the video here. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review Studio, and welcome back to another fantastic installment of the Agora models LaFerrari. Now this is the 1/8 scale sports car available only from Agora models. LaFerrari is a very unique car, gold wings that go up and down on it. This car features a lot of different things. So I'm currently working on pack number 3. We received 8 more stages with this build, stages 17 through 24. And you can see here we have 17 through 22 on here. So stage 17 is the right front tire, stage 18 is the right front wheel, stage 19 are the pedals, the gas pedal, brake pedal, and such. Stage 20, cooling system. Stage 21, luggage compartment. Stage 22 and stage 23 are the rear right wheel and tire. And then lastly, stage 24 would be the seat belts. So what makes sense is I'm going to combine the wheel and tire stages. They're going to be one video in itself. You know, so it's going to make this video fairly short by combining those. Now, remember that when you subscribe to this build, you can go directly to a link. I'll put a link in the description below for the online build instructions. They don't give you a magazine or anything like that with this build. You have to go online and download those build instructions, which I have those here on the side. I have it on an iPad here on the left. I can see what I'm doing as I go along with that. And of course you didn't see this in the video, but here's the wheel and the seat belts, stage 23 and 24. Let's get started. All right, so I got my box of parts sitting on the side over here. I'll move everything off the bench and get rolling here. And in my new studio, I have a better chair to work on too. It's a lot more comfortable than this old gaming chair. This gaming chair has had the shock absorber stopped functioning, so I actually have these brackets you can clamp to that chrome piston, and it prevents it from collapsing. So that's what I have on it, because I need to have it up all the way. All right, so we'll get rolling here. If I remember right, with this they recommend you take and heat up the rubber tire to fit it over the rim. But if I remember right, I was able to do that without having to heat it up. But we'll find out. And welcome back. So I'm going to go ahead and build up stage 17 and 18, and that's the tire and the wheel. And here's the parts here. Let's take these out and get a closer look. Got the hubcap here in a separate bag. It's pretty cool. I think I'll zoom in for you guys on the live feed a little bit. Is that okay? There we go. A little bit better for you. All right, here's a close-up of those parts. Here's the tire itself. Now the tire has to be installed a certain way on the rim. We'll point that out. If I remember right, it has like an S-shape pattern on the tread that goes on the outside towards the outside of the rim. And you'll notice that there is some foam inside. Now if you're going to soak this in hot water to help you get it on the rim, you want to take that foam out first. You don't want to have the foam soak in water. And of course we have the rim here, very nice, made of metal. Has the valve stem on it, very nice finish on that. And then we have the cap, the wheel cap, and it does have the Ferrari symbol on it. Makes that very nice. So if you're following along here, I'll pause my video up above a little bit, and I'm pretty sure, let me look at the instructions here. They actually have you install some stuff that already came in. So we have some mats that need to go down on the interior. Put those aside and dig those out. Plus we have a bag of screws. Okay, these look like the mats. All right. Dash there. With the valve covers. Those are very nice. And the steering wheel. So yeah, we have parts here from the previous stage. We received some floor mats and a side panel, looks like, partition. And some seat belts. So I'll lay those out, kind of show what we got going on here. All right. All right, so before we put that wheel and tire together, they want us to install some of the components, some of the parts we received in the previous stage. So I brought over the interior, this interior bucket here, and we have some floor mats that need to go in. Floor mats are pretty cool because they are, there's a large pin and a small pin on the back side, so you can only put them in one way and only on one side. So it looks like our smaller floor mat goes on the driver's side, and the longer floor mat goes on the passenger side. Then we have like a partition panel here. We also have some gauges, like a pillar gauge, and some seatbelt mechanisms. So this is simple here. We're just going to press fit the floor mats down. Okay. And they just press fit in place. I suppose you could super glue those if you wanted. Same thing with this one. Shorter one on the driver's side. There we go. There and right. See, it's lined up. Not quite lined up there. So the smaller hole does not want to line up very well. So what I think I'll do is make the smaller hole just a little bit larger for both sides. Take an X-Acto blade and widen that hole up a little bit. And I could always super glue them in place a little bit later. There we go. Go. And that just fell in place there, and that one fell in place also. There we go. Yeah. I think I'm going to put some super glue on that. And I'm going to use the Loctite super glue here. This is the gel type, so it's fairly thick. And of course, I don't want a bunch of super glue flowing out from underneath. And more super glue on the other side. There we go. All right. That should be good. Those mats are in place. Next, I put in the partition there. And that's going to be a press fit. There we go. You just notice the sides on the interior weren't inserted all the way on the sides there, so now they are on both sides. And now we can put in this partition. It looks like it goes in like that to fill that void. That looks good. Okay. All right. So that panel is in now, right there. Looks good. Okay, so next are the seat belts. And they go on the inside, right here and right there. Okay, so the seat belts themselves are marked with a right and left, an R and an L. So and I think it might be easier to do this with some tweezers so I don't break them. That's the thing, you just don't want to break these parts. Looks pretty fragile. They're designed to snap in. Okay, that one's in. And so remember that little letters, the R and L, they'll go on the inside so you can't see them. And I'm basically doing this off camera, then I'll explain what I did so I can see it better. Okay. And it probably would not hurt to put some super glue on that too. Or even some ABS cement. And I'll put the cement from on the, this stuff is real thick though. Maybe I'll use extra thin. Extra thin will work also. Hi, Mike. All right. The extra thin will get in there a little bit better. And that should help hold those in place, the seat belts. All right. Okay, so I did all that off camera. Didn't want to break them. And we also, I was wrong about these gauges. They're not for the A-pillar, they're actually for the bottom center console. And just to see how they go just like that on the console. And I'll show that. Okay. All right, so I installed these seat belts off camera so I'd have better control and able to see them better. I didn't want to break them, but they only go in one way, left and right, and make sure that the left and right letters are on the inside so you don't see them. And basically I wiggled them in place. They snapped in just fine. That's what they look like. And then I took some Tamiya extra thin and applied some glue to them on the back side there. So that should be good. So the next step is to install these gauges. Now I was wrong about these gauges. They are actually not for the A-pillar, they're for the center console. And they're going to go right down in the middle. And they snap in place just like that, right in the middle. So very cool. That's how that looks. Okay, so I think that's all we'll do with the interior at this point. And we're going to assemble the wheel and tire in the next stage, stage 18, which makes sense, right? Because we didn't receive the wheel until stage 18. So that's all I do for stage 17. Let's head over and get started on stage 18. All right, so okay. So I was just checking to make sure I had a proper tread pattern on the outside of the wheel. All right, so now we do stage 18. Since we received the rim with 18, the tire was 17. And they recommend you take and heat up the rim. Makes it go on easier. But I remember last time I didn't really have to do that. It went on just fine. So remember here that you have different looking tread pattern. In this case, there's like an S shape pattern. And that goes on the outside. So that's going to be presented on the outside of the rim. And if you do soak the wheel or the tire in the hot water, boiling water, I recommend just boiling the water and put the tire in there for about 3 minutes if you need to. I know I didn't need to last time. So this is just going to slide right over, making sure I make sure the S pattern is on the outside of the rim, and squeeze it down. It should go right on. Like I said, this is fairly pliable anyway, not like some of the other tires that are out there. So this one goes on really easy. You don't even have to put it in boiling water. There you go. Looks good there. And looks good on the inside. Just making sure it's all the way. Kind of go beyond it there a little bit. There we go. And thing here is you want to get it, there we go, to go past on the back side. There we go. Now it's there. Okay, so there you go. That's how it should look. Your little S pattern of the tire tread on the outside. So that completes stage 18. Let's get started on stage 19. Okay, so you got to see how I do that. Now we'll go ahead and bring out the parts for 19. Check to see what I have to do. The pedals. Okay. And these are nice because they already have their micro switches attached to them. There they are. All right. So here's those stage 19 pedals. Your brake pedal and your throttle. Looks like the other part is a footrest. So there's no clutch on this. All right. I'll look at the instructions before I begin. Okay, makes sense. I need to get the screws out I got to use for this. I got to use B-type screws. Now remember all the screws, when you get the whole kit in the mail, and I think that's the only way it comes, as the whole kit, they give you a whole bag full of screws. So I got to find the B-type screws in this bag. So get all that ready before I film. We're having beautiful weather here in southern Arizona right now, so I apologize if you don't have good weather back east. Yeah, it's sunny here. We're going to probably be about 75 degrees today. So let's see, where's my B screws? You could put these in a pill box and have them ready to go. Might make it easier for you. Probably going to be the last bag I get out there. They are fairly big screws. I did notice that the screws we've been using so far are the beginning of the alphabet so far, like A, B, and C so far. We haven't gone to any other parts of the alphabet with those. All right, so they say 2 screws. They're pretty big. They're designed for, they have large threads, so they're designed for plastic parts. All right. 6 inches of snow. Oh my God. Oh, on the track at Bowman Gray. The Clash is postponed until Monday. Oh, I forgot the Bowman Gray race was today. I would love to attend that, but yeah, that was bound to happen, right? Probably better it wasn't in LA this year, everything that's going on out there. But here we are, right? So I'll go ahead and I'll remember and try to watch that Monday. Is it on regular TV, or who's televising the race, Mike? The NASCAR Clash race, right? The Clash race, typically all the winners from last year's NASCAR season would race in the Clash, but I think they'd also have a wild card available. It's got to be on Fox. Okay, thanks. All right. And welcome back. Here is our parts for Stage 19. Now remember, you can get the instructions online and follow the build instructions on the Agora Models website. So here's those. We also need to get out 2 of our screws for this, and these are the B-type screws. Remember, all our screws came in a large bag, so I already did that ahead of time. So let's go ahead and get a closer look at these pedals. Oh yeah, it might be FS2 tomorrow, right? Okay. So FS2 will have the heats during the day, then the LCQ on FS1, maybe 6 p.m. Eastern, is the Clash on Fox. Okay, great. Great to know. My mornings are pretty occupied with my mom, but after I finish up with her, then I should be able to tune in to that stuff. Very cool. Thanks for reminding me about that. Totally forgot about it. All right, so here's our pedals. Zoom in my camera from above. All right. Here's a closer view of those pedals. We have the gas pedal and the brake pedal. Now, I think this is more like it, like that. So you can hear the micro switches. So that's very cool. And then there's a footrest here too. Pre-wired, I like that. Everything's already put together for you. Not an issue. It looks great. And you can actually see how everything is, oh wow. Very cool. If you see how everything works here. Give you a close-up of that. Pushes down on it. And the other one is just a micro switch. That's cool. So the wires are numbered H and I. Okay. Then I have the 2 B screws. So bring over the interior. And we'll line this up. Interesting. Because what they show in the picture. Okay. All right. All right. So if you look at the firewall that these pedals mount to, there is a specific angle here that matches your pedals. So you're going to want to route your wires through this opening on the interior side there. And you're going to want to go in between that mount bracket. And Murphy is kicking in, doesn't want to put, the one wire does not want to go through because it has that sticker that, there we go, has that identification tab. All right, now, okay. Wants to go underneath. There we go. That still works. There we go. So your wiring goes through underneath like that, and then we go ahead and have our alignment brackets, mounting brackets lined up with the holes on top, and we put our screws in from the top. I'm going to use a PH1 screwdriver for that from Wera, because these are larger screws. And I'll get both started first before I tighten it down. Okay, both are started. Sounds good. Checking my micro switches, make sure they still function. I must say this is an easier build than most cars I've built in the past. And they are tight. So you can just see where those two screws went in there, and that's what the pedals look like. Make sure they work. There we go. That completes stage 19. Let's head over and get started on stage 20. All right, turn off my camera from above. I'll just leave those out. I'm pretty sure we'll probably use them again. So let's get the parts for the stage 20, the cooling system. A lot in the bag there. I saw all that snow you were shoveling your driveway and all that. Okay, thanks. I'll look for my, thanks for the PM, Mike. I'll look for that. That shows all the times and everything. Thank you. And welcome back. Here we are on stage 20 of the build. This is the cooling system. There's a lot packed in this bag. Let me take everything out and I'll be right back. everything. All the parts are well packed in this. You get everything in a nice heavy-duty box. These boxes aren't cheap. They're a very nice box that comes. These parts come in. And then everything is separately wrapped. You can see that, right? Very cool. So I need to take everything out. Looks like we have parts for the, they call it the extractor, cooling system base, left fan, right fan with speaker, and some screws. So we need E-type screws. All right, so there's the fan and the speaker. They put a speaker behind one of the fans. Pretty cool. These are great poly bags. I'm saving them. You can use them for other things, right? You're not a modeler unless you save stuff like this. Huh. At least I'm not. All right. I don't know if you can hear my dog out back. So that's Leia, the female. She's a barker and a chewer. She likes to howl too. So the cover for the fan and the fan are separate here. That's really cool. Separately bagged. Okay, turn that off. So there's a lot of editing involved when I do my videos. Probably takes me anywhere between an hour and 2 hours to edit a video. Sometimes if it's real complicated, well over 3 hours to edit a video. So they want E-screws. They say 6 of them. Get those out. Here they are. And again, these are fairly large screws, so I'll be using my #1 Weir screwdrivers for them. I need to get 6 of them out of here. Is this protection or what? Yeah. Yes, it is. All right. Yeah, so this is a foam protection that came with that so it doesn't break. That's cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce this. Let's see here, extractor, that's the extractor. That's very cool, has the grills on it already. Very nice. Already pre-painted, got the fins already on there. That's really cool. And then here's your cooler, fan, speaker hidden behind it, pre-wired. The other fan, so we're going to assemble that. And then this is the cooling system base. All right, we turn that on. Here's a close-up of those parts. First thing that I did is I took out 6 of the E-screws. That's what's called for this stage. And we have the cooling system base. Really nice here. They put this foam to protect it, so that's what that looks like. Made of plastic. Then we have the extractor. It's pre-painted, pre-assembled, has some screens and such on it. That's really cool, really nice. Then you have your fans themselves. One fan is already on there. The reason why, because they installed the speaker behind one of the fans, pre-wired, everything ready to go. That's really nice. Then we have the other fans themselves, the blades and the cover for the other fan. All right, let's get started. Okay. All right, so this step we'll do the install the fan first. Looks like everything's press fit with this. That's good. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, the back side is the gets screwed in. Okay. Just making sure this goes in like that. Interesting how interesting. Wonder if they're supposed to look the same. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna make them look the same, the covers. All right. Let me get closer. All right, the first thing we do is we assemble the fan here. Now you can see how this is installed on the other side already. We have the speaker behind there, and I want these to match, so it's gonna mount down there exactly the same as the other. You can see this bar is gonna be the same on the other side. Okay. Does it matter? I don't know if it really matters. But this one sits a little bit higher anyway, looks like. Oh, you know what? It does matter. So there's a cutout. This needs to line up with that cutout. So it does matter. It's different. Okay. And then it will go in all the way. Snaps in all the way. You can hear it. Okay. Okay, so it's in all the way. Now, from the back side, we'll install the fan itself, because that's just the cover we put on. And line that up. Perfect. And we'll put 2 E-type screws into that. Okay, that's what that looks like there. Looks good. All right. Okay. Test fit everything here. Like that. Gosh, you just don't see the colors. That's going to go down on that, and you're going to lose all the paint. by the way that goes. Okay, all right. Next, going to install the extractor on the fan assembly. And remember, we have that now. It's going to go down on these 4 tabs, just like that. So you're actually going to not even see a lot of the color here. Right? Press everything down in place, and then 4 more of those screws, those E-type screws, will go into that. And a lot of times I'll just pause my video and put them in off camera. You don't want to sit there and watch me throw in screws, but I'll explain what I did after. So I'm using the #1 screwdriver again. Gives me a better bite on these. And like I said, it's just so simple to build this kit. It's a great kit. Highly recommended. Remember, this is the Agora Models LaFerrari kit. So my dogs want me to be downstairs with them. Luke and Leia. There we go. And that completes that right there, the extractor and the fans. Looks good. All right, let me film that. And there you go. All 4 screws are in and tight. You can see that there. There's a close-up of that extractor. It is very cool. That's complete. Now let's move on to the next stage here, next step. Well, that is it. So that completes stage 20. Let's get started on stage 21. All right. Bring out the parts for 21. All right. Oops, sorry about that. Bounced the camera there a little bit. All right, give me some water here. If you're just joining in, please smash that like button. And if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It all helps out. So I am currently working on the Agora Models LaFerrari kit, 1/8 scale. And it's been a real pleasure to build so far. And welcome back. This is stage 21 parts. This time we're working on the luggage compartment. That's what that looks like. Let's take these parts out and give you a closer look. Once again, there's a lot of prep, a lot of stuff I don't show in the video, like opening up packages and all that. Looks like we need F-type screws, and I see them right there, so I'll get those out too. There we go. Oh, wow. That's cool. Okay. So we have a luggage compartment lid and luggage compartment bottom section. So here's the bottom section of the luggage compartment. Not very big, right? I think you can probably put a lunchbox in that. Here's the lid. The lid is cool. That's really cool. Already has the hinges on it. All right. So let's film that. And we need F screws. I'll get those out before I film. I see them right there. How many? 3 of those. And these are flush mounted type screws. They recess. Okay. Zoom in from above. Here's a close-up of those parts. Here's a close-up of those parts. This is the luggage. Can't speak today. Here's a close-up of those parts for the luggage compartment. This is the compartment itself, made of plastic. And the lid for that, which is very cool, already has the hinges on it. So the hinges open. And then they tell us we need 3 F-type screws, and these are recessed type screws. Very nice. Let's get started. Okay. Okay, so, and they do this quite frequently. They give you the parts ahead of time, and then later on you'll install them on the car. So all we're doing in this case is we're going to install the lid onto this compartment, and then we're going to put it aside. So it's just a matter of figuring out how that goes, just like that. Okay. All right. We only need 2 of the screws. I'm going to put the other one back. Sometimes they do that to show you that you have to have 3, but in all actuality, you only need 2. All right. All right, in this case, we're just going to install the lid on the luggage compartment, and that's that right there. The lid will go down onto it flush, just like that. Then we're going to line up the holes on the back side with the hinges. And we're going to be using 2 of those F-type screws for this. Leave it just a little loose while I put the other side in. Very easy how everything goes together here. And that's how that looks. That completes and there you go. Looks good. I got all my fingerprints all over this. That will put a little wax on that. That'll clean that off pretty good. All right. And there you go. It is on, hinges like it's supposed to, looks good. That completes stage 21. Let's head over and get started on stage 22 and 23. That's going to be another wheel and tire. I'll be right back. Let's see if this buffs out with my t-shirt. My oily fingers. Yeah. It's like a decal that's on this. So, all right. Nope, 22 and 23. All right. So this would be just like we did earlier with the wheel and tire. I'm going to put these, do this video together pretty much. Okay, I am back. We're going to combine stages 22 and 23, and that would be the tire and the wheel itself, which makes sense. So we'll go ahead and take these out and give you a closer look at them, then we'll assemble them. Be right back. All right. And welcome back. Here's a closer look at those parts. Stage 22 is the wheel itself, the rim, very nice. Of course, it's made of metal. And then stage 23 is the tire. And it is pretty flexible. And if you're having problems getting the tire on the rim, they tell you can go ahead and heat this up in boiling water. Take out the foam. Don't heat up the foam that's inside, just the tire itself. And then after it's warm, you can go ahead and put the foam back in and insert it. I haven't had any problems doing that. So, you know, that's pretty nice, I think. I like it for this kit. And of course, we have the cap here with the Ferrari symbol on it. Very nice. Let's get started here. So, in order to put this together, remember that the tread pattern, it does matter which way the tire goes down on the wheel. You want to make sure your little S pattern in the tread here is on the outside. So, just making sure you do that, and we'll squeeze that over. Goes really easy. But like I said, if you're having difficulty with this, you can heat up the tire. I would do it in like boiling water for about 3 minutes, and just make sure it pushes all the way through to where you don't have any space on the back side of the rim, so it's going to take a little bit of coaxing there. Okay, here we go. All right, it looks good. There we go. It does make it a little more pliable So you can get it up against the side of the rim on the back side. And the front side. All right. There we go. There's that one little edge. Of course, this is wider than the front tire, as you can see, so it may help to heat it up because I'm having problems getting it to the edge. It's right there where the valve stem is. I don't want to break the valve stem. There we go. All right. Yep, there we go. Okay, took a little coaxing, so it may help to heat this up to get it on there easier, but I got it all the way up against the rim on both sides, and that's what you want. Okay. And there you go. S pattern of the tread on the outside. And then we have the cap that goes on top of that. So that completes stage 22 and 23. Let's get started on the final stage for pack 3, stage 24. All right. Getting there so far. Take a little break. That was a little tough on the hands. So the chat is opened up. If you guys have never been in a chat before on a live video, it's there. If you have any questions, shoot them at me. And I will do that for you. Seeing that there's something I can show you guys while we're kind of taking a break. Oh yeah. Now we're taking a break here. A little intermission. So I ordered this kit. It's by Bandai. And it really got my attention. Make sure you guys can see it. It's called Exploring Lab Nature. And you can see the great white shark. There we go. And I actually got a bunch of these. I gave a couple of them to my grandkids. But I actually have not looked inside of it yet. So let's do that. This is very cool. It says here, gives you the scientific name for the great white shark. Chondrichthritis lamiformis lamaadi. Yeah. But it says mouth opening action reveals the gums. Yeah, like I want to see the gums of a shark. And get a little booklet here learning about the great white shark. 22 parts, no paint or glue required. So let's open this up. That's very cool. Pre-colored parts here, as you can see. We have some clear parts for the ocean. The mouth look like they're in a kind of a peach colored. The shark itself is gray and white. That's very cool. Makes for a nice little display. And the instructions themselves. Okay. Oh, I see. So they want you to cut this out or fold it, and it makes into like a little book. And then the instructions themselves are on the back side. Huh. That's cool. Some data on the shark. All of it. I mean, there's English and Japanese here. So that makes it nice. So it's kind of educational. Very cool. Yeah, I just kind of ran across this before Christmas and ordered them. They're not very expensive at all. Less than $10 a kit. So I thought, why not? Give it a try. Very cool. All right. So I have this little kit here by Bandai. This is the Blockade Runner, which was released back in 2018. This is their vehicle model number 14 kit. So they're the small ones. And I already assembled this. Now what I did is I lighted it. I didn't film it how I lighted it, but I did take pictures. So if I do a video on that, the pictures should be pretty good for showing you what I did when I lighted this. But this is it right here. Now you can see all my wiring here. See the positive and negative wires, and these are the micro SMDs that are in here. I have SMDs for the engines. Each engine has its own SMD, and the cockpit. Okay, so all I have to do now, and I did light block everything. I glued it together with is it super glue I did this with? I think I did both super glue and regular cement. Yeah. But yeah, it's very low voltage SMDs here. But you can see there's quite a few LEDs put in there on that. So it's going to look cool when it's done. Paint it up, put the little markings on it. And then I was figuring out I wanted to do resistors for each of the lights. It's probably overkill doing it that way, but I did make a little circuit board for that. So I don't know. I'm not sure what direction I want to go with this for power. Haven't put the guns on it yet, but that's the Blockade Runner. Now I do have a larger Blockade Runner kit, a big one, that I still want to build. But that's that. All right. And this chair is killing me. I have a sciatic nerve going on in one of my legs, so not fun. Okay. These would be the seat belts. Okay. Rear window, front bezel with seat belts. Rear bezel, limited edition plate. Okay. All right, let's get this ready to go. Do the final stage for pack 3 of the LaFerrari. All right. And welcome back. This is the final stage for pack 3 for the LaFerrari. Pack 24. This is the seat belts, as they call it. So go ahead and take the parts out, and I'll be right back. Limited plate. That's this little tiny photo etch piece with a little sticker on the back, a little limited edition. Tiny. Can actually read it. Okay. And gosh, I don't want to lose this. I'll keep the bag handy to put it back in the bag. But there we go. Yeah, you can actually read it. All right. Seat belts are already installed. Okay. And what screws do we need? B-type. Good thing I left them out. Probably just need 2, but they're showing 3. All right, welcome back. Here's a close-up of those parts. These are the seat belts, as they say, but they're actually installed on the rear window front bezel, which is this right here. And the rear window, rear bezel with seat belts already inserted through it. Kind of see that? That's cool. And then they give us a limited edition plate. And I'll go ahead and give you a close-up of that. You can actually read it. And I retrieved 3 B-type screws. So then I need to film that plate. Zoom in on as much as I can here with my camera up from above. Yeah. Has a year on it too. Cool. Make sure it's straight as much as possible. If I go too far, it gets out of focus. So there it is. Looks like 1995, but I can't see it. So there's the limited edition plate. Very cool. And I can zoom in on it with software too, so to make it even bigger, we'll be able to read it. So that's cool. Very nice. So I'm going to put that, I don't think we do anything with it. Put it away for safekeeping. Look at the instructions here. I don't see us using it. Three. Yeah, we don't use it, so I'm going to put it away so I don't lose it. All right. Figure out what I'm going to do now. Do some dry fitting here. So sometimes this is what you have to do just to see how everything goes together. That's easy there. Okay. Let's see, it goes together like that. And then where do those screws go? Oh, okay, when it mounts. All right. All right, so go ahead and put this this rear window together here, and just inserts on with these tabs right here. Press fit. Like that and like that. So it snaps together. Looks good. All right. And now this is going to mount to the cockpit tub. We're going to bring that over. All right, so we have the tub here, and this is going to mount down on these three tabs here. So just like that. And of course, we're going to put our screws in from the bottom. Those are the B-type screws, 3 of them. And the second one here, I'm using my bigger screwdriver, the Agora number 1, PH1 screwdriver. Make sure 3 went in. Maybe the other one didn't take it. Let's see here. Sometimes they do that. Gosh. Yeah, all 3 do go in. You just never know. They might have you not put the center one in because it's a mounting point for later on, but not in this case. It does go in. So, all right, so the B screw does go in here. I'm using my larger PH1 screwdriver for that, and this is the last one going in. And it's tight. All 3 screws are in. There you go. That's what that looks like there. And I think we put our seat belts. They press fit here on the sides. There's some holes for that. Give you a close-up. So, just like that. Nice. And they will press fit there. And you can see your buckle assembly would go over. That's cool. Okay. Where does that go? Oh, okay, it goes right there. So that press fits on top here. There's a hole. Use some tweezers for that and press it down. There we go. You can kind of see that, how that went in there and how it went down there. Do the same on the other side. Like that. And the bottom. All right, make the hole a little larger there. Okay. And make sure it's not twisted. See, some of this takes a little bit of time, but you won't see that on camera. All right. one side went in easy, but this side did not. Come on, baby. Hmm. All right. Make the hole a little larger. Everything can always be glued back in place. Huh. Interesting. There we go. Wow. I don't even have to glue it. Okay, after I made the hole larger. Okay, good. All right. I turned off my camera and I'm just going to restart it here, but let me make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. Yep. The top. Okay. Yeah. Looks like the top one's going too. They don't really show it because they may have came on undone. All right. All right, so and this side is installed here and up there. Had to make the hole a little bit larger down there to get it to fit, and it's fitting snugly without having to glue it, even with after I made the hole larger. So you may find yourself doing that with an X-Acto blade to make the hole a little larger for that. There you go. So that completes the final stage for Pack 3, Stage 24. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'll do an outro video for this, put everything kind of away here before I do that. Display the parts I did assemble for this outro. But yeah, that's how I film these. A lot of editing though, because you know, you don't want to sit there seeing me struggle with putting a seatbelt in those videos. But I do explain what I do, and if I had to do any modifications, I explain that also. I love these poly bags. They're great. They're heavy duty too. They're nice. So they're good for putting parts in, maybe photo etch parts and stuff like that. You know, I'm a modeler. I save all that crap, as they say. All right, so I'll put that out. Both wheels and tires. Yeah, the trunk. That goes down here, doesn't it? No. Okay. Maybe put the pedals in. Just show that. All right. And then, of course, we never did that either. There we go. All right. Try to get everything in the video from above and do my outro. And there you go. That completes pack 3 of the Agora models LaFerrari. Fantastic. I enjoyed building this. We did build up a couple of wheel and tires, a rear one and a front one. You can see the difference in size there. We put together the compartment, rear compartment, and cooling system. That was nice. And then on the interior, we put in some interior components, the pedals, gauges, and seat belts. And I have the gauges in wrong, so I'm going to refilm that. There we go. Had them in backwards. Okay, let's start over with the outro. And there you go. That completes pack 3 of the Agora models. And there you go. That completes pack 3 of the Agora models LaFerrari. We did a lot here. We assembled 2 wheels and tires, back one and front one there. We also assembled the rear compartment. That was cool. The cooling system itself, very nice. And the interior, we installed the pedals, some gauges, and some belts. So that's very cool there. So if you think you'd like to get this for yourself, head over to Agora Models and purchase this kit for yourself. It comes as a complete kit. They have different options actually on how you can receive this kit. So check that out at the Agora Models website. I put a direct link out in the description below. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care. So I need to refilm those gauges because I put them in wrong. So, all right, and zoom in on that. Next, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put in these gauges, and I was wrong. They're not A-pillar gauges. They're actually going on the center console, and they're going to go down just right there, press fit into that slot. There we go, and that's how that looks there. Looks great. Very nice. All right. See, the only thing about doing that, refilming that, I already have the seat belts and some stuff installed, so hopefully people don't notice that. But that's what it is, what it is. I can zoom in on it, and maybe you never would ever see the seat belts that I put in later on. But that's how that is. That's from start to finish on how I film my videos. And of course, it's going to take me probably about an hour and a half to edit this. It's not going to be a very long video because I'll cut out a lot of stuff. And it was just enjoyable there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I have a box I keep everything in for storage. I'll go ahead and do that. Got some of the painted stuff. Yeah. So with these caps, these wheel caps, I'm going to put them in a bag. They're all the same, I believe. Are they? Yeah. Yeah, they're all the same. See, there's the spare parts in here. Where's that cap? There it is. We got all 4 wheels and tires built up already. That's nice. I'm gonna get one of those bags, put those caps into. It's my OCD kicking in. And put those screws in there. Go. And I'll put the foam back in this just to protect it. That'll work. Right. Put that back in there. Put that in last because it's fragile. Just put the rest of them in here. Put that in there. There. Valve covers. Steering wheel and the dash. All right, I think that's everything. Yeah, you can see how heavy duty this box is. So until I build pack 4, but that's that. That's cool. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday, and stay tuned for more of these up and coming. Try to do some during the week too. If you're available during the week to watch these, they will be out there. So with that, thank everybody who subscribes to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel for more fun and scale modeling on my channel. I'll be bringing you guys a lot more stuff here as we go along this year. And please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Helps get this out there. Thank you again for all those who already do subscribe to my channel. And let's keep building this channel, making it more fun for everybody. So take care, everybody. Have a great Saturday, and we will see you a little bit later.